Hey everybody, what's up? So I just wanted to make a real quick video today and wish all the women and all the mothers certainly out there a happy Mother's Day. Today's May 10th, 2026. And I think it's important that we take the time to wish the women in our life and certainly our own mother, if they're still living, a happy Mother's Day. I think today, especially, one of the things that goes unspoke about or really not even thought about a lot of times is the fact that not all of us, I did, but not all of us have good mothers. And sometimes we can dismiss that day as just a kind of resentful day in our heart because of that, or some people can, understandably so. But what I like to live by is, one, I did have a very good mother, one that I didn't deserve, one that I didn't learn to appreciate until she was gone. My mom passed away January 26th of 2017, and my dad passed away 3 months and 9 days later on May 4th, 2017. This was a very life-changing point in my life because losing two parents that close together is never easy. But what was very impactful was the day that my mom died, which was January 26, 2017. She left to go to the doctor, and she'd been sick for several days and hadn't went to the doctor. She'd made an appointment, but neither her doctor nor us really knew the severity of it, in terms of, we knew she was very sick, but not that it was necessarily life-threatening. And she ended up going to a different doctor, to an outreach. My sister thankfully got her an appointment for her so she could be seen sooner. And she was immediately checked and rushed right onto the hospital in Ohio. She had full respiratory failure, and she died the next day at 11 something a.m. I think she went on January 25th, passed away January 26th. The day that my mom died, they were all at the hospital, my sister and my mom and some other family members that were able to be with her, actually actively with her while she died. But I had to stay home that day because Dad had taken ill from what ended up being a big stroke, like a massive stroke. My dad had vascular dementia, and the doctors told him, years before he passed, that he really, or told us, they didn't tell him because they thought it would scare him because he already had dementia, but that if he didn't change the way he ate, that in his lifestyle in general, smoking too much, eating the wrong foods, that not being as active, that he would eventually just continue having these basically mini strokes, and one day he would have a massive stroke that would either kill him or it would make him pretty much incapable of being present, like an invalid, basically. If you guys hear noise, that's my nephew, thankfully, mowing. So when that happened, I had to have Dad taken to his doctor appointment on January 26th, and he was given 6 months or less to live and put on hospice at home, which we actively, my sister and I, who were his caregivers and decision makers, we actively chose that because there was really nothing else nobody could do. And having him at home gave us the ability to kind of see everything that was going on and kind of still be in control. And he passed away again 3 months and 9 days after my mom did on May 4th, 2017. And even though I had a good mother, I know a lot of people don't, but Mother's Day is a day that not only can you honor women in general, especially as a man, because we just can't fathom or certainly not understand what a woman goes through the way that other women know, and certainly the way that mothers know and what mothers go through. So if you don't have a mom in your life, or your mom in your life rather, or even a good mother or a good relationship with your mother, whether they're here or they're no longer with us, you can certainly honor other women and take the time out of your day, not only today, but throughout the year, to let them know you appreciate them and that they are thought of and cared for and prayed for. And that is very impactful. Just showing that we care. Having grace is so important in this world. And as a Christian, that's a staple of our faith, grace. We are saved by grace through faith, and that is not of ourselves. Meaning that all of us inherently are not good. There's certainly different levels to that. I mean, not everyone's going to become a Hitler, or not everyone's going to become a Trump, or a psychopath or sociopath. But without God, we all have the ability and honestly the desire to self-destruct, even unbeknownst to us. The Bible also says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but don't trust your heart. Be able to guard your heart, because everything about your very being, your very life flows from it. And who can trust the heart? Because it's wicked, and who can know it? Well, God knows it. And that's why he instructs us the way that he does. But even if you're not a Christian, having grace and empathy toward other people goes a very long way. The Bible teaches us as Christians to have our vocabulary, our speech, our conversations be with grace, but yet also seasoned with salt. And I can tell you one of the biggest lessons in my life is learning the difference between niceness and kindness. I don't want to be nice. I want to be kind. I want to be able to be honest with people. Being nice, in my opinion, is like a modern day yes man or yes woman, where you justify wrongdoings. You don't correct people you love, not because you know better than them or are better than them, but because you see better in them that they may not see themselves. And maybe being kind can bring that out, whereas being nice just agrees with whatever they say, basically. And in this day and time especially, we want to be kind. We don't want to be nice. We want to be kind. We want to have grace seasoned with salt. So that's what I try to do. And I remember when I was first saved and born again, that was toward the end of July, middle to end of July of 2017. And then I was baptized by submersion August 13th of 2017. And I can remember I stayed at that church for about 6 years. I was the assistant pastor for about 2 or 3 years. And I was very vocal with my faith, while still being new to the faith. And that's a good thing in terms of growth, but what it also does is it can, it reminds me of the scripture that says basically, who are we to point out the beam in someone else's eye but neglect the log that's in our own eye? So living my faith quietly in action and in kindness and with grace seasoned with that salt I spoke of is absolutely paramount and absolutely needful, because once we work on ourselves, we're then able to be more of an aid and a help to other people still working on themselves. Because at the end of the day, we're all broken and we're all working on ourselves, but we don't have to stay broken. And I think I'm still broken, but I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm able to kind of change and become less broken. And that's only through the love of God and Jesus, literally. But I just hope everyone has a great Mother's Day. I hope you're able to convey that love, that kindness, that grace seasoned with salt, no matter who you are or what your faith is, to every woman and every mother in your life, and really everyone in your life. I work in sales. I don't make commission, but I'm good at sales. I'm good at selling a good product to people who need or can benefit financially from that product. And what I do currently is I sell publications from customers that mostly already get them. And I either upsell and upgrade them to more of a premium product, or I try to renew the product that they currently have. And it's a dance. Sales is definitely a dance. It's a charm. When you take fakeness out of it and you just present whatever you're selling for what it truly is, become knowledgeable and wise on what it is and what the features it has offers, you then can sell something that isn't you, but just representing a product well. It's really less about any of us and more about just being diligent. And that same principle can carry over into how we treat people. We don't just want to be passersby. We don't want to be tourists in life. We want to be pilgrims. We don't want to be caught up with the hype of, look over there at this thing that's, somebody's selling, or look at this event they're having. We want to instead look at the surroundings, the beautiful sounds, nature, the beautiful layout of whatever area we're pilgriming through. That is another very big difference in being kind versus being nice, and a big difference in being someone who's actively appreciative of their life and the many blessings we have versus someone that's just looking for the next best thing. Because there is no next best thing. The next best thing is then going to be bought out by what is next and what is bigger and better. So I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm starting to ramble, and I don't want to do that. But I'll end here, and I just hope you guys have a great weekend, a restful weekend. Our country has probably never been more divided than it is now. And actually, there's a local election going on soon that if the outcome is not what it should be, I will have completely lost faith in voting entirely. And on a presidential level, I've already lost that faith in voting because I don't think people are elected in terms of the president as much as they're selected. I think we're living in a great deception that many people, boomers in particular, but many other people from many other generations are starting to see. But more than that, people are complying with what they're told versus doing the homework and really seeing what things matter and what things are going to change. We live in a world of niceness. We live in a world of people-pleasing in a microwave society. We also live in a world of professional victims, a terminally unique people who are always professional victims. And I don't want to be that. And I promise you, if I did want to be that, I've been through enough to where, and a lot of us have, I'm not unique to that, but I could sell that up, upsell that up, and justify it in my own mind. But the fact that I know better prevents me from that. And that's, again, only because of God, only because of Christ and the finished work of the cross. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the Mother's Day and a great end to the weekend and a wonderful week ahead. And I'll touch base soon. I'm trying to make more videos. Once I get a little more professional setup, I hope to have a little calmer nerves and anxiety lessened from a more structured approach to my videos. That is the goal. I've let little Alice in, as you can see. Alice, say hello to YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Oh, I hear footsteps. It's Rosie. Hope you guys can see. I can't flip my camera, so I had to turn my phone around. But another big thing for me, and I'll end here actually, living simple, like the joy and the contentment and the lack of additional worries, stresses, and what ifs, and just living a simplified life. The Bible also talks about working with our hands. And you can work with your hands manually, or you can work with your hands like I do on a computer every day, Monday through Friday. But working with your hands, living a simple, quiet life. And we live in a society where, it's a give me world. Like, people want money donated to their churches. They really don't want to focus on small local government and working where their first ministry is their household, their family, their community. If we did more of that, we could actually help a heck of a lot more people. And we could show that through our faith, we are rooted truly and grounded in it versus just an institution of sorts. And that's what it's kind of become, sadly, in America especially. Here, more than really anywhere else in the world, it's became an institution when it should be a local, love and grace-based, help your neighbor kind of world. And I would love to get back to that, and I'm hoping that we can, but we very well may not, at least in our lifetime. People need to think about generations after them too, their children, their children's children, a better future for everybody, not just us. And there used to be a day and a time when that mattered, governmentally not so much, but better than what we see today. But on a local level, people did look ahead. Now people can't look past the next 10 to 20, 30 minutes, or certainly not the next hour, the next day. They're focused on the right here and the right now. And as someone with mental health struggles, I don't really have a proper balance of dopamine. Um, I get more of a dopamine release when I think ahead. Maybe that's why I'm more like future minded. But you don't want to stay stuck in the past. You also don't want to stay so stuck in the here and now that you don't consider the future, not just yours, but other people's, younger people especially. I have a heart for animals. I don't have children of my own. I don't have a wife. I don't have anything other than myself, the Lord, and my little community, my church family, my blood family, who I'm very blessed to have. We have a very loving relationship, but I am alone a lot of the time. So I have seen in people and in animals, not in great number, because again, I live a simple life here in Appalachia in Kentucky, but I have seen true growth and change happen just from focusing on the local, the here, the household. And that's really where it starts. And biblically, that's where it started in Scripture. You know, there was so many people that followed Jesus, but the closer he got to the cross, there was almost nobody that followed him. Very few people. And that's very typical of life. You'll start out with nobody, maybe then have a lot of people. And then the closer you get to really living the way that we should be living, the fewer people you're going to have. And I consider that a blessing. Scripturally speaking, I'm eccentric, I'm peculiar, and I'm an oddball. But I'm the best oddball you'll ever meet, or the best crazy person you'll ever meet. Because, you know, my intentions are good and my heart is a heart for other people, really more than myself. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I appreciate you taking the 16, 17 minutes to watch this video, and I will earnestly try to upload more frequently and better quality as time goes on. But I love all of you guys in the sense of I have love for you. I know I don't know you personally, but I truly appreciate your support and your feedback. And if there's any kind of videos you'd like me to make, please suggest them. I will absolutely take those suggestions at heart and work to putting out better content to growing my channel organically. I am making some vegetables and getting ready to make something to eat, and I'm just going to have a relaxed, hopefully, rest of this Sunday. Tomorrow, back to the grind, back to the work, back to the computer, as for most of us, right? So I appreciate you guys, and I hope, again, you have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon, Lord willing. Peace. We'll be good. We'll be good.